So Origins 2024, we are here at 3WS with Michael, and we're talking about Charcuterie, the board game. So anything can be made a board game, but this one looks really cool for many types of gamers and non-gamers as well.
Yeah, it checks a lot of boxes for gamers. There's a nice spatial puzzle going on with the tiles and what you're doing, but it also is very inviting for people that aren't necessarily into gaming or does the gaming or new to gaming, your neighbor or your friends that don't play. There are multiple public objectives. There's a recommended base that are like the starters, and then there are gourmet objectives that kind of ramp up the puzzle as you play more, and you can, as long as you have one of each of these items, you can select them however you choose. So basically there's 3 of each type, so depending on if you played this multiple times, you can ramp up the puzzle with a harder puzzle, or if you're playing this for the first time, you just play it with the base one or some variation therein. But it's super simple. It's an I split you choose, where you're going to host a charcuterie party, and as the gracious host you are going to let other people get it before you do, right? So the I split you choose, you get last pick. The number of players, based on the number of players, you're going to blindly pull from the bag these beautiful tiles, and then specifically set them up into piles based on the number of players, knowing that you're going to get the last pick. So for example, depending on how if we're playing a 3-player game, I would set up, and I would probably not do this, but I would set up 4 piles of tiles in maybe this kind of order, right? 3 piles, 4 in each, and then I'm the host, so the player to my left will pick first. So let's say the player to my left picked this. They go on their board. They're never locked. They can move around as you get new stuff, so it's never, oh, I'm screwed because I did a thing. Then the next player in turn order would pick, let's just say they were them, and then I would get last pick. And then what you do on your board, and again, they're never locked, there's 3 overarching rules. Every tile must be within the board, so it can't hang over, right? If you're playing, this plays 2 to 6 players. If you're playing 6, it's got to be within that inner ring. So give that spatial puzzle. Every tile must touch the board, so you can't do stacking things to make it easier for you to fit everything on your board. And every tile must fit on your board. So you can't do this. Everything has to literally touch the board. But you can stack them like this, as long as they aren't more than 50% covered, right? So you got to spread it out because you don't want to have a nice charcuterie spread, right? Then you're doing that based on public objectives that are telling you things need to be adjacent or you want things in pairs. So you're selecting based on these, placing them based on these. And at the end of the game, after everyone in a 2 to 4, everyone hosts twice. In a 5 and 6, everyone hosts once. And at the end of the game, you'll score points for your public objectives. And then everyone's got a secret recipe that'll give them more points at the end of the game. So for example, with the hummus one, there's one for each dip. If you have more hummus than either or both of your neighbors, you'll get 10 points per neighbor. So if you focus on hummus and you get hummus, you might want to strategize to keep that for yourself, because that's the 20-point card if you can get more than your neighbors. Or collect the cheeses, or you're a vegetarian so you want no meat on your board, like stuff like that. And there's a deck of those you'll shuffle out in the beginning of the game too, and you get to pick one before the game starts, so you know what you're going for. And that's it. 10 to 20 minutes, depending on your first play. 2 to 6 players. That's it.
Okay. Yeah, it seems like a really good way to kind of get non-gamers into some games. Be like, okay, now that you like this, let's try something else as well.
Yeah, it gives you
or
set collection
keep
points.
coming back to this because this is so much fun. But
yeah,
just
the artist Yola did an amazing job. It's all hand-drawn watercolor, color pencils. Like these are all drawn by her, and they're non-edible. It's not a legacy game. Don't eat the game. We don't recommend it. But have a sidecar of your charcuterie board to eat while you're playing. But yeah, super approachable. Checks a lot of boxes for gamers and non-gamers alike.
Yeah, and everything is beautiful. Yeah, the artwork is fantastic. I'm just looking at the olives. Get a close-up of those.
My least favorite.
I like olives. Will behind the camera does not like olives.
Nope,
but
yeah, the tomato. I can't find the orange.
He's finding an orange right now for us.
When you get if there's an, here, it's right here, right in front of me. The orange,
Oh, wow.
the tomato,
Yep.
the strawberry, like that's all hand-drawn. You see the gaps in the rind, the seed that's in the orange. She did an amazing job with the art. And then you can't see it on camera, but like the texture, like it all feels really good too, right? Chunky tiles.
It is.
It's got a little bit of texture to this. Even the box got that linen finish, and then the spot UV. So everything, it's very inviting. And like I said, it checks a lot of boxes and the replayability and the shuffling of the public objectives, the recipe cards that'll change it from, and then obviously the randomness of the tiles and the selecting as you go. So it's got a lot of stuff.
Awesome. And this is obviously available right now?
We're fulfilling, it was Kickstarter in November. We just started fulfilling. US is basically done. EU, UK should be starting, and then rest of the world is getting theirs, I think, next week. It's in Barnes & Noble now, and then it should be, I think its release date is August in retail, like it'll be in distribution, so your local shops will be able to get it. They can pre-order it now if they're local shop, like it's available for pre-order. It's also on our website, and then it'll be out. It's already out.
Awesome. So we'll definitely have everybody check this one out and pick up some charcuterie and have some charcuterie while you're playing.
What's your favorite? We know like olives. You like olives?
I like olives. I mean, the roses, the meat rose are that's pretty cool. So,
Cool.
okay. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.